The little willingness, it's not just an empty motion. I have to animate a creative spirit. That is God himself. If I animate within myself the creative spirit, that I will find that miracle, damn it. I will find that door. If I have to cut it with my fingernails, I'm going to find that door. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where Jack Nicholson says, I'm going to rip up that font. I'm going to throw it through the window. I'm going to get out of here. And all these guys admire him. So they want him really to succeed. But another part of them wants him to fail, because they want to know that their decision to be trapped in that room is verified by the hopelessness of the situation. And Jack Nicholson is telling them, it's not hopeless, my friends. I'm going to pick that thing up and throw it through the wall and I'm out of here. They're excited. They're tantalized by that possibility. They also are afraid of that possibility. So when he goes up and he gets almost a hernia of trying to rip that thing out of the floor, and he can't even budge it a bit. Well, Jack Nicholson said, well, at least I tried. Well, that's an indictment.
Right.
He did try. Right. And the Indian was watching. Jack's tapping of that power within himself, of just wanting to do that. You see, he transferred it to one who did have that power. That's the hero, and that's me, the shadow figure in the dream, looking for a way out of this. And the Indian was saying, I'll finish your work. So if the Course is giving me an impossible task, like a Jack Nicholson, it's up to me to say, I will finish your work. Jack Nicholson was the savior of everyone in that room through his failure.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what
So
you're saying.
just because I apply myself to A Course in Miracles and I seem to make no progress,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know what the role of that hero dream figure dancing on the screen is about. That's God's business.
Okay. Today's reading is from chapter 28, The Undoing of Fear, and this is part 2 of section 1, The Present Memory. So we left off on paragraph 7, and I'm just going to read a couple sentences from there, and we'll go into paragraph 8. And see instead the new effects of cause accepted now, with consequences here. They will surprise you with their loveliness. The ancient new ideas they bring will be the happy consequences of a cause so ancient that it far exceeds the span of memory which your perception sees.
In paragraph 8, this is the cause the Holy Spirit has remembered for you when you would forget. It is not past because he let it not be unremembered. It has never changed because there never was a time in which he did not keep it safely in your mind. Its consequences will indeed seem new because you thought that you remembered not their cause. Yet was it never absent from your mind? For it was not your Father's will that he be unremembered by his Son. Okay, you want to explain that one?
Well, this is the cause the Holy Spirit has remembered for you when you forgot. The cause is the one, that we never could have ever separated from the one. This is the cause the Holy Spirit has remembered for you when you forgot. It's not past because he let it not be unremembered. There's no way to lose the memory of God. We can pretend that we have lost the memory of God, but it cannot be unremembered.
We can see the words of this, but we got to get underneath the words of A Course in Miracles because it's meaningless. You can't.
Well, I don't think it's
unmeaningless. I mean, but to
start.
say that the God is still in me and that I can remember that and all, what's the practical application of this? In other words, my viewpoint of the whole Course in Miracles is I better be able to dial it into my immediate experience, or it's la la land.
I understand that. but I need to always start.
Okay.
Let me just start
Okay, so
with
go
the
ahead.
big picture,
Then keep
and I'll
going.
let him bring it down to
Right.
the brass
Right,
roots.
okay.
Okay. So it cannot be unremembered. And it's just a review of terminology. It's a review of how it works.
Sure.
It's never been changed because there's never was a time when he did not keep it safely in your mind. So it's a reminder that although we have pretended through the idea that we could possibly separate from the one to be something that we're not, it's never left our mind, which means it's accessible. That's the only reason why I bring it up again, is because you can access it. Its consequences will indeed seem new because you thought that you remembered not their cause. So it's giving me a set of different kinds of a different set of consequences. Now, this you're going to have to explain because I don't really understand this part. Its consequences, this big cause, its consequences will indeed seem new because you thought that you remembered not their cause. To me, that's God himself. Yet was it never absent from your mind, for it was not your Father's will. So God did not leave us abandoned from accessing the memory of his will, that he be unremembered by his Son. There's no way that his Son, which we are all part of, could be unremembered by God. So now, if you want to try and take that into a practical set of things, I just think that sometimes the Course goes into something where it's reminding us that what I thought I could have done is impossible.
If somebody thinks that A Course in Miracles, and this is the first few times I think I picked this up, if I remember correctly, I would get into it a little bit and then throw it against the wall. I did the same thing with Rudolf Steiner. Mm-hmm. It just makes no sense. I mean, this is an insult to my intelligence to try to say that this has any sort of logical coherence. It made no sense. But the reason this makes no sense, what I'm saying makes no sense, it makes a lot of sense, a lot. But the reason it's so difficult and the language is so
because it's so exacting.
It's so exacting, and it's talking about something. So that it's talking about something that we want to make an immediate reality. Now, okay, before I say what I'm going to say about this making it real, we got to understand what, and this is what the last section was. It's about all this, the undoing of fear, the healing of the dream, all these things, is to understand what is this? What really is this thing that I consider, because this is a fictional self. This is the hero dancing. This is something that was dreamed by someone else. I don't remember being born. I don't remember anything. I've got to recognize that all of this agency and these things that are planted within me and all these kind of things, I myself might as well be a figure on a screen dancing around. However, within that figure is given an access point called the little willingness.
Yes.
That dreamer, that crazy thing has one real thing. The dream itself, the figment of the ego's imagination that's dancing on the screen of life, the hero, it has one sliver, it's called the little willingness, that is a remnant of something called reality. And it itself, the little willingness, is not real. It's a desire. It's a possibility. It's a tool for finding something else. Now, so what I'm going to say is the situation is talking about is, let's say I'm like a person in a black room. The lights are out and I'm in there, and I go, the lights are out in the room. It's pitch black, and I look around and somebody says, "There's a door there," and I feel around and I go, I see no door. That's delusional. There is no doorway. That's legitimate. Mm-hmm. I don't see a door. There must not be a door. That is conventional reality. That's the Course in Miracles is the doorway, let's say. Mm-hmm. It's a doorway.
Yeah, it is a doorway.
And I'm being told that there's a doorway, and the Course in Miracles is saying, You have a doorway to happiness. You can find happiness. And I go, I don't know. It's just more of the same stuff. And so I decide not to look, to maintain what I'm calling with shorthand my coolness, my self-respect as an egoic being with a history that has some respectability to it, that I don't lapse into being some sort of a fool. Somebody says, well, there's a door, and then you start feeling around. You start feeling around. And you might even be surrounded by fools who are going, hey, there's a door around here somewhere, and they're all feeling around, and nobody's getting anywhere. But the Course is demanding that I say, yes, it's faith and belief, that there is a door, that I do have that sliver. It is connected to this larger schema of which I can't possibly become aware of that larger schema because I'm a figure dancing on a screen. So I commence to say, okay, damn the coolness, I'm going to start feeling my way. And I start feeling for cracks. I start feeling I feel this, I feel that, there's lumps on the wall, whatever it is. And I feel around. I feel all around. There's no doors here. Well, maybe I need to feel up higher, maybe lower, maybe it's on the floor. And I dedicate myself to feeling around the room. And the longer I go feeling around the room without getting anywhere, the stupider I feel, possibly.
Did you look at the trapdoor below your feet?
Well, that's what... Okay, but that's what I'm saying is that do you see that some whole lifetimes will be dedicated to searching and never finding?
Right.
Or they will find a crack, and the door, they were looking for a door that was 3 by 7, and it's only 2 by 2. So they assume, well, that can't be it. And so they just keep on feeling. Or is the door a tiny, tiny door that you open and that you say, help me, help me. It's a little door. I don't know.
Right.
It just said a door. So if I have an idea of a door, I'll never find my way out of this room. So I start feeling around, and do you understand the problem that we have here? I have a concept I have a prejudiced view of what it is to escape, what it is to get out, what a door is, what is an acceptable amount of time to do the looking, and whether or not at any given moment I bail on the whole project and say, bullshit, I'm just going to sit in this room until somebody blows the wall off or something like that. This is the problem we're in with all of this. And what this is saying is, I don't care how black the room, I don't care how you misunderstand what a door is, or your lack of your lassitude at accessing a little willingness. I don't care how bad any of that stuff is. God didn't intend you to be stranded in that black box forever with no testimonies, no witnesses. So you have to animate the little willingness. It's not just an empty motion. I have to animate a creative spirit. That is God himself. If I animate within myself the creative spirit, that I will find that miracle, damn it. I will find that door. If I have to cut it with my fingernails, I'm going to find that door. It's like you've seen movies that are, what was it? My favorite scene. I'll link it maybe if I think of it. I've used it before, but it was so powerful when I saw it in One Flew Over the Cuckoos Nest, where Jack Nicholson says, "I'm going to rip up that font, that water cooler thing that's made out of solid marble. I'm going to rip that up. I'm going to throw it through the window. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not going to hang around here with you fools." And they're looking at him, and first of all, he's got mythic nature. Jack Nicholson in the movie has a kind of a mythological heroism about him, and all these guys admire him, so they want him really to succeed. But another part of him wants him to fail, because they want to know that their decision to be trapped in that room is verified by the hopelessness of the situation. And Jack Nicholson is telling them, it's not hopeless, my friends. I'm going to pick that thing up and throw it through the wall, and I'm out of here. They're excited. They're tantalized by that possibility. But they also are afraid of that possibility. So when he goes up and he gets almost a hernia of trying to rip that thing out of the floor, and he can't even budge it a bit.
Right.
Not a bit. He can't do it. And they all laugh at him, and they're relieved because he has provided a proof for them that they're all trapped in that place and there's no way out, and they just got to deal with their stupid life the way it appears to them. That's just the way it is. There's no happiness here. There's just coping. And that's us. Well, Jack Nicholson said, well, at least I tried. Well, that's an indictment.
Right.
He did try.
Right.
He almost ripped his guts out trying to lift the thing out of the floor. And then, as you know, in the movie, at the end, the Indian was watching. And Jack's tapping of that power within himself, you know, of just wanting to do that. You see, he transferred it to one who did have that power.
Right.
You know, and that's the ego. That's the hero, and that's me, the shadow figure in the dream, looking for a way out of this. And the Indian was saying, I'll finish your work. You know, so if the Course is giving me an impossible task, like a Jack Nicholson, it's up to me to say, I will finish your work. That's my role in this, to make it happen. If this makes sense, make it happen. Find the door. That's what it's saying. You have the ability to do that as a fragment of God. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, and the doorway means, as you know, first of all, you know, even in the Bible it says, you know, knock and then keep on knocking. Basically, perseverance is key to the door opening, and as well that the door is closer than maybe your own heart. You know, it's not even outside of ourselves. It's right here, like so close that we can't even understand that because this has nothing to do with touching it. It's just here, and so it, you know, it's just a reminder that it's never absent from us. It's totally available, and it's up to us, as you said.
But do you understand, with the Jack Nicholson analogy?
Yeah.
Yes, it's never absent from us. But do you realize Jack Nicholson was the savior of everyone in that room through his failure?
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what
So
you're saying.
just because I apply myself to A Course in Miracles and I seem to make no progress,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know what the role of that hero dream figure dancing on the screen is about. That's
Okay.
God's business.
Okay. Good point. We'll move on from there. Okay. What you remember never was. It came from causelessness, which you confused with cause. It can deserve but laughter when you learn you have remembered consequences that were causeless and could never be effects. The miracle reminds you of a cause forever present, perfectly untouched by time and interference, never changed from what it is, and you are its effect, as changeless and as perfect as itself. Its memory does not lie in the past, nor waits the future. It is not revealed in miracles. They but remind you that it has not gone. When you forgive it for your sins, it will no longer be denied. When you forgive it, the cause, for your sins, it will no longer be denied.
I think that I'm the butt of this big fat joke called God's creation. I think that it's really random chance, that the things that happen to me really are a sad joke, or a beautiful opportunity, or a testimony to the blue ribbons I have on my wall, my vanity wall of accomplishments, whatever illusion you're living in, whether it's that you're a butt of somebody's joke or you're the joker, you know. It's saying, when I finally forgive God for creating me, when I forgive God for this stupid life that I'm the one choosing, then when you forgive it for your sins, it will no longer be denied. The it being the cause with a capital
Yeah.
C.
Mm-hmm.
It's not God per se. It's God as causal.
Yeah, as cause.
When I forgive God as causal, now this is deep, deep, deep in the dream. And as I said before, it surfaces as the very, very readily, thing, the tangent, the thing that's in my curriculum right now is that you may be a dumbass, but you are blessed. This may look like a big accident of some kind or a ship of fools, whatever it is manifesting, but you are blessed. And that's where you finally forgive. That you can arrive at by forgiving the cause that brought you here. No, you didn't do it to me. You did it for me. You didn't do it to me.
When you forgive it for your sins, the thought that, for me, my sins are that I think that I could have separated from God, and therefore I deserved the guilt and the punishment that came from that. It will no longer be denied. When I forgive it, the as you said, the cause of the one, the God's as causal, for my sins, for my idea that I thought I could be separate from that cause, it will no longer be denied. And it does say that I am, and you are its effect, capital E, as changeless and as perfect as itself. So anytime I think that I am, less than or whatever it is, that's the little mind, the egoic mind, and everything else, and that has to be laid down. To me, laying down means I have to. The traditional Christianity says to be humble, because the ego doesn't know how to be humble. It just doesn't know how to just kind of kneel like a good dog, lay down, So that's what, to me, on an inner level, I have to be able to just say, I don't know. I'll be willing to submit myself to the cause, because the ego doesn't want to submit to that, because it means that it will lose its identity. So, but the truth of what we are is its effect, as changeless and as perfect as itself. Its memory does not lie in the past, nor waits in the future. It's now. It's forever now.
But, practically speaking, do you have anything to say about it, practically speaking, about how that manifests, like today or yesterday?
No, it's to me, all of it is awareness. For myself, it's awareness of what I'm thinking. Mostly, I don't know what I'm thinking most of the time. To be real honest, it's usually just little random things, little stuff here and there. But if I get caught off in traffic, if something sets me off, a person says something that I don't like, or whatever it is, I have to remember that I am partaking in a dreamscape that is available to me to have, as you said, the positive witnesses. And it can't happen unless I'm willing to drop my particular judgment agenda on what I think everything is.
The world can reveal itself as a miraculous light display of joy. The world can. If I forgive it, meaning if I allow it to change, meaning it doesn't have to play out what I think I'm doomed to be because of my past in time and space. The world can reveal itself.
And the same with the other, the brother. They can reveal, it can be revealed in the brother.
Now, as soon as I say that, you get, okay, well, give me the good stuff. What do I have to do to have the world reveal itself as a joyful place? The process of getting there is the curriculum. It is my work as a child of God.
And it's an undoing. It's not a doing.
Right. It's right. It's the undoing, meaning the miracle doesn't do anything. We're only here to have miracles, meaning I'm only here to be a witness of reality. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for anything else. And so, as like with any shooting star or some astral phenomenon, you get your lawn chair out, you do the best you can, you time it the best you can, you sit and you wait. And wow, what do you know? The meteor cloud, the meteor storm happened, but a big cloud went over and I missed the whole thing. It's like all you can do is get your lawn chair out and get yourself in the right position and get a good viewpoint and hope for the right weather. And you do it again and again and again until you see the meteor storm and then count your lucky stars when you actually, say, hey, that was beautiful. I'm glad we did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do understand that.
Ken?
Yeah.
You who have sought to lay a judgment on your own Creator cannot understand it is not He who laid a judgment on His Son. You would deny Him His effects, yet have they never been denied. There was no time in which His Son could be condemned for what was causeless and against His will. What you're remembering would witness to is but the fear of God. He has not done the thing you fear. No more have you. And so your innocence has not been lost. You need no healing to be healed. In quietness, see in the miracle a lesson in allowing cause to have its own effects and doing nothing that would interfere. The doing that it's asking me to not do is judging. That's the doing it doesn't want me to do. It's not like go to your work or do whatever. It's judging my circumstances, judging this is less than, judging this is a pain in the ass, judging this is putting me out, judging.
Judging others and judging circumstances.
Those are the clouds. The judging itself is the cloud that separates me from the cause with a capital C that never intended all those things that I accuse reality of being. The pain in the butt, the difficulty, the nightmare.
Right.
So, what does it look like when you're confronted with historical, physical circumstances that are terrible? Let's just go there, please. Let's go there. We have to, because that's what always comes up. In other words, wars happen, children die, people get cancer. How on earth? How can a miracle happen when all that crap still persists? What do you do? This is the downfall. This is the difficulty of A Course in Miracles.
I know, but
a troubling world.
A troubling world.
What do you do with the troubling world when all of this hyperbole about what a wonderful place this is?
If I want to start to see the troubling world become a more peaceful world, then I have to be the carrier of the, in other words, with the Holy Spirit, my constitution of letting go of judgments, my ability to work out when things are upsetting me, to drop them and ask for another way, those things allow for other witnesses to show up on the screen of life. That's what allows for the happy witnesses to come. So
give me a real-time, make it up if you have to, give me a real-time example of a happy witness in lieu of a nightmare.
Well, on the other one, it was your son. I mean, your that's always a confusion. Your brother who had the heart attack didn't die. He was brought back to life. That's a happy witness.
But history didn't change. That happened. You knew it, and
yes.
I knew it.
Yes.
Nothing new. The facts remained. But where is the miracle?
The miracle is that we don't have any windmills in our town.
Good point.
I'm sorry.
My brother did that. If
you're fond of windmills and the alternative energies and everything else, there's plenty of stuff on it that why they fail and why they're not very good for very long and how they're more of a hindrance. But at any rate, so in other words, he's a catalyst within my dream for things that I consider part of my happy dream, to tell you the truth. It didn't end up in our county, So I don't know what he's here for. Also, he was a perfect avenue for me to practice forgiveness, because when we were living under the same roof, I definitely had a problem with the way his modus of operandi, which appears to me lazy, when he's home. He works all day long, 8 hours a day, and does a good job. But, I'm like, at any rate.
No, we could do several podcasts on judgments we might have about my
judgments.
brother. Right. Whole podcast.
And yeah, I
we
love
could spend
him
hours talking about it.
You know what? We have dinner with him every Saturday night, and I'm absolutely happy that he's part of our life. I'm not just saying that. I think he's genuinely a good-hearted, good-meaning person. And so any judgments I have about his daily routines and everything else, it's not for me to judge. He is what he is, and he's a beautiful person, and he has done wonders for this community. So, yeah, so he's a miracle in my mind, because I was willing, once I had some distance from what I was judging, because admittedly I had trouble, to see him differently and to want to see him differently. So to me, he's been a happy witness. Mm-hmm. He has been a happy witness in my life. I wouldn't want to change that.
Right.
So
that's all the realm of effects.
Yes.
So in the realm of effects, anyway, I would say that the miracle to me is that we went through that before. The miracle is reinterpreting what happened the night he had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And now you are spelling out holy instants that happen as an unfolding of that event. In other words, what we tend to focus on is that, it was a faux pas of giving him baking soda when he was having a heart attack. Okay, mm-hmm. And now we can dwell on that faux pas, and that keeps us in the body, it keeps us in history, it keeps us in time and space. And then we can go forward and see how that very person, my brother, has been instrumental in stopping. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but their politics on windmills, mm-hmm. and the blight that they create and the true benefit to the town. And he alone was someone who brought, gratefully from the people around him actually, mm-hmm. the intelligence to those conversations, so that they're not doing battery farming, they're not doing solar fields, and they're not doing windmills, none of which would benefit the town in any real way. It doesn't bring in employment or anything. It doesn't do anything, and it doesn't do anything for the energy in the town or anything. It's a net negative. Mm-hmm. So he's responsible for stopping those things. That's all in the effects and in the illusion.
Yes, it is.
So
I mean,
this isn't talking about that.
No, it's not.
It's talking about the cause, meaning,
and it's asking, you would deny him his effects, yet they have never been denied. In other words, through all this dreaming of my world and everything, I deny that I am God's effect. By participating in the dream and thinking that this is all that I am denying that I am an effect that could never be changed. And it says, it gives us, this again is reminding me that that God has not done the thing that I fear. No more have I done anything. So your innocence has not been lost. To me, the second part of this, where the undoing of fear, the present memory, it's saying it's in the present. It's wanting me to remember. I could never have changed God or his effect, the Holy Son of God. It's impossible, no matter how bad my dream gets or anything else, no matter what I seem to see or what I think are cause and effects in this world. Nothing has changed. I don't need any healing to be healed. And then it reminds us, in quietness, see in the miracle a lesson in allowing cause to have its own effects and doing nothing that would interfere. So that nothing that would interfere is what you were saying in the very beginning. To lay the judgments down. You cannot be the judge of the world you see.
Okay, I want to point out. Can I jump in?
Yeah, and have remember to see what you are.
Just true confessions, just us.
Us.
Just
us.
as my teacher used to say, just between us girls.
Okay.
I'm stalled out, and I'm frustrated with this whole piece. I'm frustrated because
you don't like the overviews. You only want you don't like. I'm interrupting him. You don't want the big umbrella picture. You want boots on the ground.
Yes, I want boots on the ground.
But there is an umbrella, and you can't deny the umbrella. The thing of it is that you're in it. That to me, it has to give me the language of the truth as the whole. Even while I'm attempting to do the little willingness, letting go of judgments and everything else that would allow me to see through the veil where I remember I am an effect.
Okay, I'm going to dial it back to me. Okay, that's great. Okay. Yeah, you be the keeper of the umbrella picture. Okay. I'm going to dive into the boots on the ground situation. Right now we're in a situation where we're in a divided world. We're in a divided world, politically divided. It seems stuck. It seems like there's a stuck division between a left progressive and a right so-called conservative, whatever it appears to be in the scheme of things. I, despite being a lifetime liberal progressive, sort of one of those people, and all my friends are there, because of information I've gotten, I find myself more in the other camp. This is a lifetime pattern with me, where even though I identify with X, I always find myself X prime and an outsider, like a minority of one in the way I view it. It's always that way. That's my particular story, is that I'm always a minority of one given two big groups. I can sympathize with both. I'm always outside of both, and yet, identifying with one. So in this case, I'm identifying with the conservative viewpoint, but I'm X prime. I'm not really with them 100%. I'm card carrying. All my friends are on the left, progressives, all of them. I understand their language, and they frustrate me to no end in the amount of illogic that they exercise despite their massive talents. Okay, so I'm stuck. Do you understand? I'm caught in a storm. I'm caught. It's not peace. It's a storm of reality. Now, within that storm of reality, what ends up happening is, what are you fascinated by, Phil? Do you want to heal the world, or do you want to be entertained by the friction? Do you like being the outsider, the perpetual singularity, the perpetual singleton in a situation involving mass movements? Do you like being the singleton? Answer, boom, yes, I've always wanted to be a singleton. This special function has to do with being a singleton and seeing nothing in common with the people around me. Always being alone. Okay? I'm not saying this to be autobiographical. That's some of the reason it kind of makes me sad and a little bit frustrated about the whole thing. How to get at this, as long as Phil Hamilton has a fascination with the problems in his world, if that's conservative versus liberal, if it's me as a singleton versus a larger group, whatever I find a precious fascination with, keeps me in hell. It is the stuff that blocks me from cause with a capital C.
Yes.
Any fascination. You can be fascinated with, there goes the crazy weather again. Oh, God, we're getting hammered. Oh, my God, can you believe the soil? It's nothing but clay. It's just clay soil. And the amount that I'm fascinated by that crucifixion of clay soil, the amount that I'm fascinated with the crucifixion of being a singleton, or of being on the outs, or of not really sharing with them but with them, or of being misunderstood by my wife, or being misunderstood by the group, or not getting a view count. As long as I'm fascinated, do you understand what I'm trying to get at?
Yes, I do.
As long as I'm
As long as you're fascinated.
bloody well goddamn fascinated by cystic fibrosis. As long as I'm damn fascinated by watching people throw their pitiful brains against the wall of
You won't see the
geopolitics,
cause.
I am contributing to the storm.
Yes, that's true.
I am creating it. Do you realize I am the Holy Son of God himself, bringing the storm on all of us as long as I bring my judgments to these situations.
Yeah, that's
and
their
until I
attacks.
notice, and I get off, notice myself with my hand up to my elbow in popcorn, just enjoying the nightmare of my life, just enjoying it, whether it's, oh God, this is terrible, just enjoying the hell out of the terrors or the misuses or the abuses of my life, just enjoying the hell out of it. I'm making it, do you understand? Because I'm the only one that exists. That sliver of the whole little willingness, unless I can kick that sucker loose, it goes on for all of us. It behooves me to be Jack Nicholson, going into that room and grabbing that and getting a hernia, trying to develop, to see the miracle, to participate with God and say, do you see me here? It's like Ramakrishna one time said. He said, this guy was saying, he said, you're stuck with Kali. That's the goddess. You're stuck with her. You're hopelessly stuck in form. You can't go to the formless God. That's where your freedom is.
Yeah.
You're stuck with that. You'll never get out of this. And so Ramakrishna, the guy just takes his little fingernail. You can imagine these Indian guys, and he shoves it into his forehead like this. He just shoves it in there until he breaks the skin. And Ramakrishna said, and at that moment, I saw a sword coming into my mind, and I saw my precious mother, and I took that sword and I sliced her into pieces. And so he took that fingernail and he took the sword of discrimination that guy was trying to give him.
And the mother was Kali.
And the mother was Kali.
Yeah.
And he sliced her into pieces, and she obliterated, and she turned into pure light, and he stayed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi for like 3 straight days. That event was so, in other words, he developed a little willingness. Ramakrishna got the little willingness to get rid of the form in his mind that this man was claiming. When the man saw Ramakrishna's ability to dissolve his formal relationship with God, his judgment of what God should look like in the form of Kali Ma, when he got rid of that, the guy became a disciple of Ramakrishna. So that's the world we live in.
Okay.
That you have to be, or as what's his name said, the writer who wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls, what's his name? Hemingway.
Hemingway, yeah.
So as Hemingway said about writing, you must be willing to kill your darlings. You must be willing to kill your darlings. So you've got your little precious thing, your little idea about the way this world should work. I apologize, by the way, about going off on a rant. But if it's so depressing to me to have such accurate wisdom here, and you can't get at it because the language is so burdensome. But it is clearly saying you must kill your darlings. That's the little willingness. You must get rid of your judgments on this world.
But in this one, I mean, it was basically saying that so long as you're going to deny that you're an effect of the cause, you decide on your own. The memory that you're opting for is the memory of past future references. You're not deciding for the memory that brings you back to
like the man in the dark. The only way that I can get that memory that I'm an effect of the cause is to proceed to say, damn it, I'm going to feel around this black room until I get a door. And if I don't get a door, I'll punch through the wall because somebody told me there's a door. I will make a door. There has to be that kind of commitment.
Yeah, that's desire.
That's
desire and passion. And where there is desire and passion, trust me, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, they hear. That's, to me, oftentimes people have their awakenings, so to speak, when they were just like frustrated to no end, just as you showed, and were desiring to see. And there's so many lessons about, I want to see. I want to see.
Above all else, I want to see.
Above all else, I want to see. Do you really? No, you have to be above all else. I want to see. And in those lessons are the formula for how we approach the Course in Miracles, which means it does require that kind of getting fire in your belly about not just wanting everything to just be complacent the way it's always been, and to have our judgments on it and say, good enough, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay.
11.
Paragraph 11. The miracle comes quietly into the mind that stops an instant and is still. It reaches gently from that quiet time, and from the mind it healed in quiet then, to other minds to share its quietness. And they will join in doing nothing to prevent its radiant extension back into the mind which caused all minds to be. Born out of sharing, there can be no pause in time to cause the miracle delay in hastening to all unquiet minds and bringing them an instant's stillness when the memory of God returns to them. Their own remembering is quiet now, and what has come to take its place will not be wholly unremembered afterwards. So the miracle, again, is just talking about this quiet mind. It's like you say, well, how do I get a quiet mind? Only by saying, I don't know how to get a quiet mind. That's the way I'll do it at any rate. It's like, I really honestly don't know how to quiet my mind. I've tried, and it seems like it always has some thoughts in them. But the desire, as you said, with passion, to have a quiet mind,
Right.
to want to see and hear that which can be shared. And it's the only sharing that ever really happens. In that quiet mind, it says that not only is the quietness in my own mind, but because my own mind became quiet, the whole sonship benefits. And they will join in doing nothing to prevent its radiant extension back into the mind which caused all minds to be. And born out of sharing, there can be no pause in time to cause the miracle delay in hastening to all unquiet minds and bringing them into instant stillness as well.
Ramakrishna, in that story, he has an image in his mind of all times of Kali Ma. You know, I don't find her a particularly attractive goddess, but there's a lot of Kali Ma devotees. This man comes and says, you will not truly meet God until you eliminate that form that you've given the goddess. He says you won't reach it. Ramakrishna didn't say, I know better than this guy. Ramakrishna had an open mind. And he said, hey, maybe this guy's right. I'm going to take what he says. I'm going to take what he says. And when the guy took his fingernail and plunged it into his forehead, Ramakrishna had to desire to destroy what he considered precious.
His idol.
In lieu of discovering what someone that he barely knew said was a superior preciousness. This is the moment we're in. I have to develop the desire to see my life story and all of the petty beefs and victories that I have, to see them shattered and scattered so that that cause can become manifest. And that as the miracle, how does it look? It means that I have a grandson with cystic fibrosis. I keep saying that. I'm not trying to generate. I'm saying that until I can go into that and identify the preciousness I have on that form, oh, that's so sad. Oh, it means this, it means that. Phil, that's only here for one reason, and that's to reveal the glory of God.
Right.
To reveal the cause. It's not to show you how dreadful something can be. And so it's up to me and me alone, not his mother, not his father, not you, not anybody else. It's up to me to heal this situation by losing all affection for what I get worked up about.
Right. That's true.
Lose affection for getting worked up over something. I know it's kind of ironic, some of them all worked up.
I know.
Sorry about that.
Okay, paragraph 12.
He to whom time is given offers thanks for every quiet instant given him. For in that instant is God's memory allowed to offer all its treasures to the Son of God, for whom they have been kept. How gladly does he offer them unto the one for whom he has been given them, and his Creator shares his thanks because he would not be deprived of his effects. The instant's silence that his Son accepts gives him welcome to eternity and him, and lets them enter where they would abide. For in that instant does the Son of God do nothing that would make himself afraid. Now, this instant thing, let's be really, really clear. It's not sitting around doing the chin mudra, sitting quietly on the floor with a candle in front of you. That can be a part of your practice, and you can practice quieting your mind that way. The quiet mind, that's why I brought up Ramakrishna again. The quiet mind is shattering, wanting above all else to scatter and shatter my pet judgments that I have on myself and the world and my past and the future and all forms around me. This is the goal. It's a noble goal, but that is the quiet it's looking for, is the desire to pit myself against the judgments that I have of the world. That is the quiet moment it's looking for.
Yeah.
Because those are the noisy voices.
Yeah, those are the noisy voices. Yeah. And I don't know what else I could say about that. Again, it's reminding that God is not trying to deprive us of anything. He's waiting. He's waiting always for us to want and to desire, as you said, to be in his arms almost, to
right.
be enveloped in that place.
And wake up, use fear in a good way. God's patience should maybe frighten you, because he can wait for billions and billions of years and lifetimes.
And yet the Course said
it can be just a second.
Yes.
Just a second. But I'm just saying, he's willing to wait a billion years.
No. But the Course also says, this is a something that will shorten time. In other words, collapse.
That's what we're doing.
That's what this work is for. That's what the practice and everything is for, is to collapse that time so that we're not waiting in perpetual, seems like eternity,
right.
to remember what we really are. Okay.
13.
Mm-hmm. How instantly the memory of God arises in the mind that has no fear to keep the memory away. Its own remembering has gone. There is no past to keep its fearful image in the way of glad awakening to present peace. The trumpets of eternity resound throughout the stillness, yet disturb it not. And what is now remembered is not fear, but rather is the cause that fear was made to render unremembered and undone. The stillness speaks in gentle sounds of love. The Son of God remembers from before his own remembering came in between the present and the past to shut them out.
As a practice, we remember just say a word about fear. Rather than I've been talking a lot. Say a word about fear, because that's what's stopping us.
Yeah,
Fear.
Fear does. And
are you afraid now?
The thing of it is that there's only one time that I was totally unafraid, and that was when I had that, sort of, you could call it out of body experience, but it's just where I remember what it's talking about here, the cause the effect that I really am, that I'm one with it. But whether I'm aware of it or not, there's always little nuances, whether it's time-based, whether I think we're taking too long on something, or I'm not really quite following, say, what you're thinking of and want to be able to interject or whatever. All of those are outside of the truth.
Right.
If I was completely in the truth, it ends up changing the atmosphere around us, and there is no sense of conflict anywhere. It's just complete calm and peace. There's nothing that is disturbing. And these are not, these I don't feel anything really that much. I could say that much. In other words, I have to bring myself to the awareness that I'm not at complete peace. Otherwise, I would say, no, I'm at peace right now. There's nothing here that's bothering me. But that's not the case. There's cold all around us. There's a deep freeze coming in. We're in an old house, and I can feel the pressure of the cold off of giant old windows that don't hold the cold out very well. And there's heat that's going on and on and on to try and keep us warm here. And so my environment alone is keeping me out of sync with the moment that is here. You know, my sensate world is now being filled with something else. A little bit of a foreboding. There's a storm coming in. Not sure. Hoping that there's not going to be any power outages. There's always these little things that are going up, and all of them prevent me. Those are the fears. Those are the fears that I have to be aware of. And if I said no, I have absolute faith that God would not leave me, in a place where I would be annihilated, so to speak. There's a sense of annihilation. It's like, I could freeze to death. It's not the truth. I know it's not the truth. I've got neighbors. I've got another floor that has another heating system in it. Got lots of things all around me. But it doesn't stop the ego from playing out scenarios of darkness with the weather,
right. Yeah.
And so all of those, it says, those are the things that prevent me. Those are the fears. And here it's saying how instantly the memory of God arises in the mind that has no fear to keep the memory away. So to me, all of these from I think paragraph 7 on through this section is a reminder of God's eternal presence. And then it's up to me to see why I'm not experiencing God's eternal presence. I'm not experiencing it because I believe that there's something that I'm still vulnerable to in this world that can hurt me. And so long as I have that, I won't experience the memory. And those are the things I need to be aware of so that then I can say, do I want to hold on to that fear? Or do I want to hand that over and say, there's nothing, what is it, one of the quotes in there? There's absolutely no reason, fear is not justified in any form. Wow, contemplate that. Fear is not justified in any form. Tell that to a body or someone who thinks that they're a body, like myself. Yeah, that's not an easy one to just say, yeah, it's no problem. So the memory of God is available. And it's telling us that we need to be welcoming and accepting that it's available right here, right now. Right here, right now. Anything else?
Only that, the fear, like I always go through this, it's like I have a fear that I can't communicate something that I'm seeing in the Course. The goal here is to communicate. The goal isn't to crank this thing out. I'm aware at the same time that we're doing this that Joanna wants to move it along, and she's hearing me meandering around on topics that seem to have no application. And so she's going, where is this going, and how long is it going to take, And I'm afraid of that, and I'm afraid of myself. I'm afraid of, getting too worked up and too attached to getting a point across. I get it, that's a fear. And basically, those are fears that define my whole life. It's always that. I'm afraid of not showing up appropriately for something I'm tasked to do, not being up to that task. Anger rises sometimes, or frustration in terms of trying to accomplish that. I've used those tools of anger and frustration to, in my illustration practice, my rendering, they'll give me impossible tasks, and sometimes using anger, frustration combined with focus, I get the job done. And it's part of what I am. It's part of what I do. So when I edit this particular video, I'm sure I'll get to these points of where I flip out, and I'll say, do I want to cut this out or do I leave it in? And I said, well, but in any case, those are my fears. And man, this thing here, this relative self is built out of that stuff. It's built out of it.
Right.
And yet sometimes, as I'm saying, sometimes it is what's required. It is part of the special function of this shadow form to get worked up over some BS that it can't possibly do anything about. It happens. And I don't understand that. And that's just the way it is. But we got to show up as who we are.
That's right.
So, 14. Now is the Son of God at last aware of present cause and its benign effects. Now does he understand what he has made is causeless, having no effects at all. He has done nothing. And in seeing this, he understands he never had a need for doing anything, and never did. His cause is its effects. There never was a cause beside it that could generate a different past or future. Its effects are changelessly eternal, beyond fear, and past the world of sin entirely. So, all of that stuff that I just said about the fears of what I am and how I present and my lack and my, going over the top in communication or getting too excited or not having a good DJ voice or something, whatever it is, that's what this relative self is showing up as. And forgiveness is just saying, there it is. There it is. And assume that has meaningful application for myself as a learning and maybe for somebody else who hears it, but mostly for myself as a learning going forward.
So here, though, it says, now does he, that means the small self here, understand that what he has made is causeless and having no effects at all. He has done nothing. And then it goes on to say that you didn't need do nothing and that you never did. He understands that he never had a need for doing anything and never did. And there's that whole section in the course on I need do nothing. It makes us sound like we're just supposed to sit around and just like the world just pass us by. But that's not the case.
When it says his cause with a capital C is its effects, what that means is the life that I live, regardless of my fears, regardless of my faux pas, regardless of going over the top or under the bottom or whatever my particular neurotic problem is, regardless of any of that, the only thing happening here is his cause. And everything that I'm being and doing and saying is its effects. That can only be understood or realized through forgiveness. If easily anything or anybody can be judged harshly or negatively. Is that the game we're playing? The only way to see the cause and its effects in any display, however weird it might be, is forgiveness, which is to suspend judgment.
Right. I don't know. Its effects are changeless, eternal, beyond fear, and past the world of sin entirely. And that's what its effects, it's saying again that the Son of God, which we're all a part of, is changeless, eternal, beyond fear, and past the world of sin entirely. There's no sin there. And it's a bit of a mind game, it seems to be, to say that I am sinless. No, the one who's occupying the body and mind and everything else doesn't believe it's sinless, because that's not what it's talking about. The one that is sinless, this one still believes it's separate. So as soon as I think I'm separate, sin does enter, because it believes that it can do good and evil and it can change things and mess up things and everything else. But the one that is the true effect is completely in God's memory and has never been changed and cannot be changed.
Like it or not, the world of appearances, with all of its stench, neurosis, psychosis, and difficulties,
And some beautiful things, too.
Beauty, that's great. Beautiful's wonderful. The beauty in the eye of the beholder, in the eye of God, whatever. All of those things, the world of effects with a small e, all of that, they are all an angelic reality playing out where forms are neutral. It's not that this is a heaven that's on the other side of all this nightmare we're in. This nightmare is the heaven seen properly. This nightmare is the heaven seen properly. That's the deal. It's not like there's some glowing reality where suddenly people drop their clothes and there are these glowing, clouds kind of drifting around. You're still you, I'm still me, we're still both neurotic, but it's just like, who did it? God did it. As soon as we say that God did it, it becomes angelic. As soon as we say that God did it.
I always have a problem with the way you use the language there, because this thing that we're experiencing here is done. It was answered a long time ago, and so God only sees that there was a mad idea that needed to be corrected, and he corrected it instantly. So I'm participating in something that is what they consider impossible. We're all participating in something that is considered impossible, because nothing can be separate from one thing that is all loving and beneficent. And you go, wow, that's not what's happening here. But in the mad idea, it's not like miracles are not witnessed here, because that's the whole purpose, is to allow for those witnesses to be here. But by the same token, I don't consider that this is made up. I make believe here. I make believe I can be separate. And God will shine, because there's no place where God is not. There's no place, even in, quote, the dream, that God is not. It's here all the time. It's ever present. It's just that part of my mind doesn't remember that. It doesn't remember. And so this is always, to me, to teach me that in all my fears and all the struggles and all the things that may happen while I'm here, that I am still complete, safe, healed, and whole. It might not seem like it, but the truth of what we are is complete, safe, healed, and whole. And so to me, this whole second part, because we're coming to the end of the whole text right now, it's pushing my mind to remember that I've never left. It's like giving me like a wave of like, will you accept it? Will you accept the fact that what you think that you did, no matter how many horrors are played on the screen of life, that it has no effect on God, which we are the Son of. It has no effect on the Son of God either. We just play out these nonstop, and there's reasons for it, which will remain a mystery. I don't know why we need to stay, in not remembering that there's something here that is a mystery to me, and I let it remain a mystery.
We're fascinated by what we've done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're
Right.
fascinated by it, and so because we're fascinated with it, we want to keep it.
Right.
We still find hell fascinating. To the degree we find hell fascinating, we'll stay there.
Right.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
The minute, second, microsecond that hell is no longer fascinating, you'll be in heaven. And it doesn't mean that all the bodies will melt away and that light will dawn. No, everything will look exactly the same, except you'll be in heaven.
Right.
It'll look exactly the same. Everyone will act exactly the same. They'll smell exactly the same, except you'll be in heaven. That's the only difference.
Right.
Now, I know that we get into that. You'd have to look at the last session where we were talking about my brother and his heart attack. That's the nature of every event, every microsecond event choice that I have. Have I blown it, or am I blessed? Have I blown it,
Right.
Or am I blessed? And when our reality is, every microsecond is, I am blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, you're simply in heaven.
Right.
Every
Yeah,
time,
I agree with
every time you say, I am blessed, every time you say that, you have a glimpse of heaven. And then you're returning back to, oh, maybe that was a coincidence, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. The goal of the Course is to compress time so that you have more and more frequent brushes where you say, I am blessed. And that's the goal. That's the goal of this, okay? That's the goal of the whole book. No matter what you see, no matter what you experience, no matter what you hear, no matter what you smell, no matter how bad, no matter how distasteful, no matter what you think judgmentally about what's going on, if you can say within yourself and upwelling because of this partnership, I'm blessed, you have found heaven.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do agree with that.
Now what happens is, you're in heaven, you're still here, the lamp's still here, my neurosis is still here, everything's still here. All the stuff I was afraid of is still here. But now I'm saying I'm blessed instead of I've blown it. And when I say I'm blessed, God makes the last step.
Yeah, the
He
grace.
takes me and picks me up and goes, see, you don't need any of that stuff anymore. That's when things turn to light.
I agree. Okay. We have one more paragraph here. That would have been a good ending. What has been lost to see the causeless not? And where is sacrifice when memory of God has come to take the place of loss? What better way to close the little gap between illusions and reality than to allow the memory of God to flow across it, making it a bridge an instant will suffice to reach beyond. Making it a bridge an instant will suffice to reach beyond. For God has closed it with himself. His memory has not gone by and left a stranded son forever on a shore where he can glimpse another shore that he can never reach. His Father wills that he be lifted up and gently carried over. He has built the bridge, and it is he who will transport his son across it. Have no fear that he will fail in what he wills, nor that you be excluded from the will that is for you. See, you nailed it by saying God will reach it over and do the last step. Where is their sacrifice when the memory of God?
The greatest obstacle that I have right now, the greatest obstacle is the fear that I've been abandoned, that I've messed up so badly that I'm isolated forever. That's the greatest obstacle. And if I'm willing to lay that drama down and say, that's not the game you're playing an eternal game to where you are forever the eternal Son of God himself, forever. Forever perfect, healed, and whole, all that stuff. That's the game you're really, really playing. And when I can quit being fascinated with all the ways I can screw it up and just say, it doesn't matter, you're not that good, Phil. You're not that good. I don't care how you embarrass yourself in public or, what bad decisions you make in your life or whatever it is that you do. No matter what you do, you can't screw it up. You can't. You're God's son. You're his child. And that can't be negated. So that's the biggest obstacle, is thinking that I'm that good, that I can ruin God's will.
Right. Can't do that. No. We're forever one with him, no matter what. So, is there anything else? I think that's good.
That's good. I think that's good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.